I've got a Grayson lathe, but the cross slide travel isn't that good, and I wanted to see if I could use this for any sort of reasonable milling. I've checked the clocked the headstock sort of trueness with a DTI, and I've traversed the saddle and checked that. I'm going to try out this milling. I've already started milling a rough slot in some very soft aluminium. I've got a 4-flute cutter, which isn't ideal. It's leaving a bit of a burr that I'm going to face off later on, and the cross slide, I'll try and take a picture of that and put it on later on, seems to be a lot more substantial than the Grayson lathe, with a bit more travel on it. So I'll have a go at taking a cut. I'm taking approximately a millimetre off on this at the moment. Another thing I've done on it before I start taking a cut, I've tried to tighten down the jibs on the saddle as much as possible on the cross slide, and I've also locked off the milling cutter on the cross slide. So I'll try and take a cut with this. Should be starting to cut it out now. I'm going to try and get some 2-flute cutters and try it out. Mainly I want this later on to do some prototypes, RF enclosures, but they're possibly going to be out of brass, which should be a bit better. But the slot I'm milling out at the moment is for an attachment for a digital readout for this lathe and the Grayson lathe I've got. Now I'm going to possibly keep hold of these though, just for hacking out bits of metal, but I'm also looking at a TAG CNC. So the milling cutter I'm using is a 6mm shank. I think it's a Weldon shank, and it's basically a 4-flute sort of roughing cutter really, and the aluminium is very soft and very sort of gummy, so it's creating a burr, but I'm not particularly bothered about that at the moment. So I'm taking making a 40mm slot at the moment, and after I've finished machining this, I'll try and take a picture of the actual machine finish. I'm not expecting it to be that good at the moment, because I need to true up all the slides and that as well. I'm going on the fastest speed I can go on this lathe at the moment. So I'm just up to about 40mm for the length of the cut at the moment. I've got a millimetre to go now. About 1/2 millimetre. Just about finishing the cut now. So that's done. The milling cutter's also in this lathe has only got number 1 Morse tapers for the headstock and tailstock. I've got basically a collet, a 6mm Morse taper 1 collet in the headstock, and the drawbar's simply a piece of M6 thread bar with a washer on the end of it. So that's the end of the cut. Right, I'm now going to try and remove the burr from the initial machining with the end mill, or the end of the end mill. You can see a bit of it, or you might be able to see it, that I've started already, and it seems to be removing it okay. So I'll just wind this in and take one cut. This is where I've done it already. Just try and remove this small burr here. That's about it. I'll try and remove the last burrs using the, or if there is any, using the side of the end mill. Just try and see if that's... So it hasn't done too bad a job.